What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. So, welcome to Cube and Star, an Arbitrary Love. This is a game that just popped up on Steam 5 days ago, and I got a hold of a copy and started playing it for myself. And for those of you who are wondering, well, what exactly is this game? Well, that's a good question. And actually, I couldn't possibly tell you, because this game makes no sense whatsoever. This game was produced by Doppler Interactive. They are a company that up until now has been focused on browser-based Unity games, as well as a few iPad titles. This is their first voyage into Steam, and I can tell you that I've been playing this game for 8 hours, and really, I do not understand what this thing is all about. Basically, let me just kind of take you through this. As you can see, there is no beginning screen. Okay, you just start and you are in the game. There are no multiple loads or anything like that. There is only one game, and you have the opportunity to reset your game if you decide that this game that you've taken it as far as you want to go or whatever. But basically, here I am. You are this cube, and your job is to wander around your little asteroid, as it were, and paint it. So you rub up against a tree, and it gives you a little paintball, and then you wander about painting the asteroid. And that is the game. If you hit a tree 5 times, it will dissolve. Sometimes it drops stars. In the upper right-hand corner here, if you click on this, it will give you a readout of how much of the asteroid you've painted, how many coins you've picked up. It won't stay there. It will just last for a couple seconds. How many coins, how many gems, how many of these odd little, these are like archaeological finds, various relics and things like that. These are journal pages, and this one down here are lore pieces. And then down here at the bottom is your star count. For all intents and purposes, your stars are meaningless other than the fact that you have collected them. In fact, I would suggest to you that the vast majority of this game is all about completionism. How much of the game can you paint? How many stars can you pick up? How many of these little creatures can you get to wander about and then stomp on? And so on and so on and so on. Up here, this will bring up we'll call it the menu. You have achievements, and then most of these, I would say, at least half, are just you are wandering around and you happen upon things. And so thus you get an achievement. Now, I don't know exactly why they think this, but achievements are not gameplay, okay? Achievements are kind of like this bonus thing that you do that is like weird. So you are recognized for that, okay? But these people have turned achievements into gameplay. So this game is all about finding the various things that are here and then, crossing them off your list, as it were. There's all kinds of stuff on here, like you can raise certain skyscrapers, and depending upon their height, you can cross off like the large skyscrapers or the super skyscrapers or whatever. There's also over here, there's got the journal. I found 48 of the 50 journal entries. Basically, as you're wandering around, they just pop up out of the ground. And then history. Now, here's where things start to get a little bit dicey. Okay, you can see that there's this box down here. All right, this game actually has several bugs and quirks and things like that about it. This history thing is probably meant to say something to the effect of congratulations, okay? And then there should be like a little button here that makes this go away so that you can read this. Except there isn't, so you can't. So that's that. This will take us out of the screen. This actually will scroll this up and down. So if I go over here to journals, you can actually scroll up and down. Restart will restart the game. It will literally wipe the game clean and you will start from scratch. Okay, so only use that button if absolutely necessary. And then exit will take you out of the game. This is the only way to get out of the game. And this menu does not come up if you hit escape or whatever. So you actually have to click this. This little thing, which is over top of this little thing, is basically the only way to turn off the music, all right? If you turn off the music and you leave the game, when you come back, the music will be back on. So this game does not remember, I mean, it keeps track of you know, 4,000 cube squares, but it does not keep track of whether you have the music on or off. That's absolutely absurd. Also, if you click on this in the wrong place, like if I were to click this over here, instead of taking that line off and turning the music back on, it will shoot me back out and into the map, which is what this icon is for. Okay, this icon raises your map. From before, when this popped down, you saw that it said 91% of the map is completed. And as you can see, this is my map. All right, I have picked up colors from various trees and filled in the map as much as possible. It took me about 6 to 6.5 hours to do this, but there's a fatal flaw in the game. If you are a completionist, meaning that you have this inner desire to just make everything perfect and be 100% at everything, filling in this map at 100% is almost impossible. And the question is why, all right? Well, do you see all these little blue lines and these little green lines and the little yellow splotches and things like that? That's where the creatures of the world, who spawn completely randomly, okay, are moving about on their own. So you can see this guy drew this blue line on the ground, and he's just wandering about doing his own thing. Well, because the creatures at the beginning of the game painted the tiles, but did not actually change the original status of the squares that they crossed, those squares, even though they're colored, are not counted in this 91.35% because I didn't paint them. So what I would have to do if I wanted to get that number, to be 100%, would be I'd actually have to go around and paint over top of their paint and hope that I find all 100%. Which is an absolutely absurd thing. I mean, I can't even imagine why they would think that that would make sense. And I don't know if it's a bug, like they just didn't program that in there or whatever, because there are several other bugs in the game. During the course of wandering around, if you may happen upon like various invisible trees, you'll just be going along and you'll bump into nothing, and just stuff will just start popping out of this nothingness, okay? One time I clicked on, or not clicked on, but bumped into one of these critters, and what happens is this little menu pops up for just a half a second, and, you know, they have, you know, these odd metaphysical things that they want to say. None of it makes any sense, and none of it really tells you anything about the game. They just have, like, this commentary about their lives, and then they go about their business. Well, at one point, I bumped into one of the other squares that's on the map, and I disappeared. Now, I was still there because I could still move myself around and interact. I just couldn't physically see myself. And in my place, one block to the left, was the square that I had just bumped into, okay? So there's all kinds of little tweaks and things like that that, you know, need to be made. I don't know if they're going to patch this thing anytime soon. I actually sent them an email and said, are you going to patch this anytime soon? They never got back to me. So what are you going to do? Now, the other thing that I want to draw your attention to is let's bring up the map again. Hopefully you can notice, because I can see it on my screen, but I don't know exactly how this is going to record. This ends right here. This is the end of my screen. So I cannot see what world colon, I have no idea what that word is. It looks like a T, but who knows. Population, content, and then down here, these arrows, I have no right arrow. I have a left and an up and a down. So, you know, there are no options for changing your screen resolution. There are no options for permanently adjusting your music. There are no options anywhere. This game apparently wanted to be so advanced or revolutionary, or however you want to think of it. It wanted to be so different that it threw out everything that you would normally expect a game to provide, like menus and help screens and instructions and plot. There's none of that in this game. And if you go out onto Steam and you start reading the reviews, you know, they just talk nonstop. The people are like, oh, it's so colorful. And indeed it is. Congratulations. You are playing what is probably the most colorful game of the year. But so what? What else can you do with it? I mean, after you paint your entire map and then the critters repaint the map for you over and over again, what can you do with this thing? The answer is probably nothing. There are, in the game, 4 totems that you can find. This one is, the shortcut for that is Z. The shortcut for this one is X. The shortcut for this one is C. And the shortcut for this one is unknown, because you literally have to click on it, and I've tried every other key, and there's no shortcut for this. This one will literally scorch the entirety of the area that I'm standing on, like such. And I can walk up to... Ugh. I hate bumping into other creatures because they do absolutely nothing for you, and yet they waste your time. Alright, now you see, I painted myself, but the paint isn't working for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, good. I got another paintball. Let's try this paintball, see if we get lucky. Alright, also not painting the scorched earth. So now, what I'm going to try is these shortcut things here. Now, what you have to do is you have to type in 6 of them, okay? Now, it can be, you know, like 2 of these and 2 of those or 2 of those, or 4 of these and 1 of those and 1 of those. It's up to you. You know, you try different combinations. So I'm going to go ZXZXCC. And so that creates what appear to be beige balls that go around, and they are fixing what I burned earlier. And so now I can paint like such. Alright, now we're going to do the exact same thing again. ZXZXCC. And this time the balls are orange. And the question you may ask is why? Well, we have no idea, do we? Because there are no instructions in the game. Why can't I go right there? Nobody knows that either. So, I appreciate the fact that they wanted to do something that was really crazy and weird and avant-garde or whatever. I mean, artistically speaking, this is a very artsy game. But beyond that, it does very little, okay? All of these creatures that you see wandering around here are the result of me painting and or erecting various buildings in the area. So they kind of signify what would be the human population on this planet. And they will alter the terrain as they see fit. They'll eat the grass. They'll paint things, you know, depending upon their mood, etc., etc. Other than that, I gotta tell you, I mean, bumping into stuff is incredibly annoying. Looking for paintballs, I mean, again, if you bump into a tree 5 times, it disappears. So if you don't get any paint, then, you know, you're just out of luck, and then you have to move on. If you wanted to paint a massive green area, if you don't have any green trees there, then you're also out of luck. And if you want to, let's say, build a building right here, there's no way to do that. And if you want to create like a little city, and like guarantee that there are things there, there's no way to do that either. So really, this game isn't really a game. It doesn't really come with instructions. It doesn't have anything in the way of like an options menu. And really, it's very colorful, very pretty. And if you are into completionism, just being able to say that you completed this map might be worth the price of the game. But other than that, I gotta tell you, for me, this one happens to be a pass. So hopefully this video has helped you decide whether this game is right for you. And if it has, please click the like button, share it with your friends, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.